It is fall. It is cool outside and it is time for some comfort food. So 'tis the season with Thanksgiving and Christmas around the corner. I have the most perfect, most quintessential fall recipe for your family gatherings, potlucks, or just to make for your own family dinner to make it a little more cozy and a little more colorful. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I am Rachel. I'm a homeschooling mom of 3. In today's video, I thought I would do something different and share with you one of our favorite fall recipes. It is perfect for Thanksgiving, it's perfect for a brunch, it's perfect for Christmas, and every single time that I make this, people ask for the recipe. It's very unique, it's very colorful, and in and of itself, it has every single food group. In my kitchen, I'm in the middle of lunchtime here, so I have some salad stuff in the background. This doesn't have to do with my recipe, but I have it ready so when my children come to me and say, "What's for lunch?" I have stuff. The reason why I am starting now is this recipe, it says that it's about an hour prep, and it's about an hour and a half to cook. So 3 hours depending on how quickly you can do these things and find these things. So I just wanna make sure that I have plenty of time to do it. So this recipe is from fedandfit.com. It is a paleo recipe, and I'm not a paleo person, but one of my friends shared this recipe when I think it was her Thanksgiving dinner. She had placed it on the table and I thought, that is gorgeous. What's in that? And I read all the ingredients and I thought, I think we'll eat that. So what we've got here is about 6 pounds of sweet potatoes and 5 cloves of garlic. The recipe calls for mild Italian sausage. I opted for breakfast sausage this time. And then, of course, you'll need your Italian seasonings and your kosher salt. 1 large onion. I have 2 smaller ones here. It's fine. Some celery chopped. For the cranberries, it calls for 12 ounces, although I usually add a little bit extra. It also calls for grass-fed butter or coconut oil. I had neither, so I'm using regular butter. First step is to preheat your oven to 350. Now I have a convection oven, and so I roast pretty much everything unless I'm actually baking. Step 2, if you have long hair like mine, it's gotta go up. I have made that mistake too many times where I have caught little pieces of hair in our food, and my family does not appreciate that. The recipe does not call for you to skin your sweet potatoes, but I usually do. I don't worry about getting all the skin off. I know some people are fine with eating the skin. I haven't decided which way I like it best. But I will say I have made the recipe with the skin and I have made it without, and it works either way, so whatever your preference is. Next, you need to take all of your sweet potatoes and you need to get them cut into 1/2-inch cubes. I am no professional chef, so I'm not sure if this is how most chefs do it, but this is how I do it to save some time. Get a big chef's knife and cut these kind of like into French fry pieces, and then cube. And then if you do not have the kitchen tool, I'm not sure what this is called. I should look it up and put it in the description below. But it's like this big scraper or scoop. Oh, it is so awesome for getting these large mounds of food that we're chopping up into this big bowl, especially for the dishes that have a lot of chopping like this one does. That is a large bowl, and that is a lot of sweet potatoes. And remember, that isn't even the whole 6 pounds, so make sure you have a big bowl. Next, we're gonna need 2 baking sheets lined with parchment paper. This amount of sweet potatoes definitely needs 2 baking sheets because the potatoes need to be able to lay flat while roasting. So the next step could have been done before I lined my baking sheets. You're going to need to melt half of your butter, so 1 stick. To save a few extra minutes, while this is melting in the microwave could be when you line your baking sheets. Once the butter is melted, pour it on top of all of those sweet potatoes and kind of toss it around. After you lay the sweet potatoes in a singular layer on your baking sheet, you can put them in the oven and roast them at 350 degrees for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, you're going to stir them and you're going to cook them longer. And you will add and subtract time depending on how crispy you want your potato croutons. Yes, that is what we're calling them, potato croutons. So while your potato croutons are roasting, in a large frying pan, you'll need to break up and brown your meat. Like I said, I used breakfast sausage this time. I have used the Italian sausage in the past. After taste testing this one, I highly recommend the Italian sausage. It wasn't bad, but the Italian sausage definitely adds a little bit more flavor in there than just plain breakfast sausage, but it's your preference. Also enjoying this Bang drink, Radical Skedaddle. It tastes just like Skittles for real. These are just energy drinks. I have no idea if they're healthy or not. They have 0 calories, but for a treat every once in a while, especially when you're fixing your family a really great meal, why not? After your meat is all browned up, you need to drain it in a colander and then set it aside. So grab your teenage son and awkwardly try to film this and get a great camera angle so you can see us draining this meat. The next thing I do is to prepare my garlic cloves. I like to buy whole heads of garlic and just get the cloves out, unpeel them myself. It's a little cathartic for me to bang these things with a knife. But you can buy these already peeled and ready to go, and that's fine too. So while you're preparing the garlic, you should have your other stick of butter melting in a skillet or a saucepan on the stove, because you, my friend, are about to make garlic infused butter. Oh yeah. You need to smash those cloves down and let them infuse in this butter for about 5 minutes. That is some goodness right there. While my garlic was infusing, my potato croutons were done for their first phase and ready to be taken out of the oven and flipped before their second phase of cooking. Simply give these a good stir around, maybe flip a few, and then make sure they're in a single flat layer again, and put them back in the oven for about 25 minutes. Again, add or subtract your time depending on how crisp you want them. So now the garlic infused butter is starting to smell so good. It has kind of a nutty smell to it. You can see the little brown specks down there that are also an indication that they are about done and ready to be plucked out. So the recipe says that when the garlic starts to brown, remove it and then discard it. Are you kidding me? I never discard roasted garlic or browned garlic. That's crazy. I put it in a bowl and I set it aside and I eat it like it's candy. Comment below if anybody else does this too. Why would you waste roasted garlic? That's just dumb. Right? Roasted, seared, panned, browned garlic. It might be just one of the best foods in the world, but you know, maybe that's my Italian heritage coming out, but I love garlic. So after you take the garlic out is when you add your chopped onions and your diced up celery. I had already prepared these ahead of time, just whenever you can snag a few minutes, just chop that up. And then we have 1 tablespoon of Italian seasoning we're going to add to those. And we're gonna add half a teaspoon of the kosher salt. You're gonna stir all of this into the garlic infused butter, onions, diced celery, and let it simmer for about 5 minutes or until the onions are translucent. So while this is simmering, it's always a good time to start cleaning up the dishes. The onions and the celery are looking good. While I'm waiting for them to finish and waiting for the sweet potatoes to finish, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to measure out my cranberries. Now I always weigh the ingredients if they give me a weight. In this case, they said 12 ounces of fresh cranberries. I have used frozen cranberries before and it tastes very good, so I would say fresh or frozen is fine. I'm going to weigh out the 12 ounces, but then, like I said in the beginning, I'm always going to add a little bit more because I really enjoy the fruitiness and the tartness that it adds to this dish. So I've got 14.5 ounces there. About 15 minutes left on the croutons, so I'm going to keep cleaning. Isn't it just so satisfying that while you're waiting for the next step of your food to get done, you can be cleaning up so that you don't have a huge mess to do afterwards? That is exactly what I have been doing along the way, cleaning up and waiting for the next step. Here's my garlic. I told you I'd eat it. I've got my baking dishes ready to go. My vegetables are simmering and waiting for the next step. I have about 7 minutes left because we want those sweet potato croutons to be nice and crisp. Foil and the cranberries. Over here I've got dishes soaking. This soaking. Just need to put away some clean dishes. And yeah, I love a clean kitchen, especially when food's on the way. Voila! They're supposed to be crispy. These are still a little bit not super crispy. There's a lot of butter here. Maybe it would make a difference if you did coconut oil or the grass-fed butter, but I have never made it that way, and it is good either way. These are a little bit more crispy, so. And now we are going to combine all of the ingredients, the meat and the vegetables, in this large bowl. Isn't this gorgeous already? We've got orange, green, white, brown, red. I mean, this is, talk about eating the rainbow. This is a gorgeous dish. Although my channel is mostly about homeschooling, it's also about motherhood, and part of motherhood is finding delicious recipes to make for your family. If you are enjoying this content, please consider subscribing and give me a thumbs up if you want to see more things like this. That is really the best feedback I can receive, and it also really helps my channel out. Once you pour the cranberries in, then you want to fold until evenly combined. So just very gently, you're folding this all together. It is so fun to see all these colors kind of combine. This is already so scrumptious looking. Whose mouth is already watering. Finally, we are going to pour this mixture into 2 large baking dishes. I have never been able to get it into one, and again, I'm not even using 6 pounds of sweet potatoes, so I'm not sure what size large baking dish this could go into. I just use 2. And now we are going to cover it with foil, and we're going to put it back in the oven for another 20 minutes. You know how they say with food, you eat first with your eyes? Well, eat up. This is gorgeous. It's done. It smells amazing. I cannot wait to take a bite. I will say this is the fastest that I have ever made it. It actually, start to finish, only took me 2 hours. Oh my gosh, I love the cranberries. I wish they had them year-round. I love the tartness that they add here, but the sausage, I love onions, and just everything, it just blends so good. And let me know in the comments below if you try this and if you can do it faster than 2 hours because of some of the prep time. Let me know any tricks that maybe I should try the next time I make this. Until next time, bye.